Another icon of American television is dead. Kitchen Queen Julia Childs passed away in her sleep early Friday morning. She had her family and friends by her side. Julia had been suffering from kidney problems, and Childs admits that she didn't take her first cooking class until she was in her mid-30s. But she says once she got started, she felt like she had found her life's work. She made her first appearance on television at the age of 51, and she eventually won an Emmy and a Peabody for her work. Tomorrow would have been Julia Childs' 92nd birthday.
Still see quite a few clouds there looking south down the river. We are looking at a little bit of a sunshine peeking through as we are here at Waterfront Park in downtown Portland at the Bite of Oregon for this weekend. Now, it has been changed, at least the name that is. It's been going on for 21 years. The past 20 years, it was called the Bite of Portland, but they decided to change the name, expand it to include all of the local fruits, wines, and seafood from the entire state. So now called the Bite of Oregon. Take a quick look at the weather for today in case you're wanting to come down here. It opens at 11. By the noontime hour, you'll see we're around 74 degrees. Should see quite a bit of sunshine. It will be very comfortable through the afternoon hours. Toward the afternoon, we're looking at temperatures going up into the upper 80s. And now we're here at the Safeway booth. This is the presenting sponsor for the Bite of Oregon, along with 24 other sponsors that have all gotten together to showcase Oregon's food and wine. And yes, we have one wine right here from Duck Pond in the Columbia Valley. Yes, it is open. No, we have not had any. We promise. We promise. But yes, lots of great wines and lots of great food here to come out and enjoy. Kim, back to you.
It is lots of fun there, Christine. As you say, it'll be going strong until 11 o'clock tonight. So get on down there.
12 hours.
Thanks.
Christy had a pretty strong grip on that bottle of wine.
Yes, she did, but she was also very firm.
She's not going to let that one go easy.
About the promise not to take the cork out, okay? All right, we talked before the break about something that is important in all our homes these days, but not necessarily done for us ahead of time. You're going to tell us about that.
Oregon state law and the building codes require that in bathrooms, kitchens, and in outdoor locations, a special type of plug be used. They're called GFI. They look like this. You can get them anywhere. George Moreland has them, and George Moreland's handyman Dave Schmidtke is going to show us how to swap this out with your regular plug.
Well, we're looking at a standard electrical outlet. You've probably got many of them in your house. No problem there, but the deal is, modern day code says that you cannot have an outlet like this close to a sink or any source of water. You got to have what's called a ground fault circuit interrupt. Why is that? Well, let's say, for instance, you're blow drying your hair. Okay, just like this. La, 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 blow drying the hair, blow drying the hair, and then all of a sudden part of the cord gets into the sink. If that cord is frayed or this appliance is not functioning correctly, you could... You're probably wondering why I'm holding on to a radio. I mean, it's time to replace the outlet, not to sit around listening to tunes and chill, right? Well, wrong. Here's a little trick. If you're doing this job by yourself, of course, whenever you work with electricity, the #1 rule is turn off the circuit breaker. If you're doing this by yourself, one way to keep from going up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, is to turn on the radio, crank it up. We're not going to crank it right now because you got to hear me instead of Robert Plant. But turn it up and then go down to the circuit breaker box. Okay, that's it. All right, for camera purposes, we run a light from an extension cord from another part of the house. And what I'm basically going to do here is remove this lovely decorative plate, which I can't wait to get rid of too. And then we're going to have access to the outlet itself. There are 2 screws, one on the top, one on the bottom. Then we'll have access to the wiring behind it. I selected a 125 volt and a 20 amp breaker. Now it comes in 15 or 20 amps. The 15s will trip easier, which often means it's a little safer. Now, the back of the outlet actually tells you where to put the wires, but I like to use the old one as kind of a guide to make sure I don't screw anything up. This outlet is part of a series. In other words, there's another outlet downstream from this one. That's what this little label talks about. Now, if I just had two wires coming in here, it would tell me this is the end of the series, and I just put a white wire here and a black wire there. But no, as a result, I have to put a white wire here, and a black wire here and here. So that way it completes the circuit. Here's how you keep yourself from getting in trouble. Look inside the box. You can see there's a white wire and a black wire joined together. There are two sets of them. They stay together. If you look at the back of the outlet, it will basically tell you this. The white and the black wire from the one set go here, and the others, to complete the circuit, go here and here. If there's any doubt, there's a full set of instructions that come with each one of these GFIs. I like to do it in stages, like, you know, put the neutrals on first and then put the positives on later. That way I can't really make a mistake and wire something incorrectly. And it's just a matter of hooking up the ground, and we'll put the outlet back into the wall. Okay, now we've got everything back in the wall, just a matter of putting the plate on, and then we will turn the breaker on and make sure that everything is working just nicely. Breaker, good buddy. The breaker is on, by the way, and now we've just got to turn this on. One feature I like about this is, you know, the circuit's working when the little green light is on. I can't emphasize enough how careful you need to be when working with electricity. Believe it or not, I have been shocked before. It happened my junior year of high school. Again, my friends, if you're not careful, this could happen to you.
That is funny. That is great. Now we know that one of the things Dave's had in his closet for a while. But really, you cannot emphasize it enough. He's right. Check out that electricity. Turn those circuits off before you do anything with electricity. And I wish my GFI plugs that I have at home, I wish mine had that little green light thing, which they do not.
The new ones do, and they are perfect for these installations. They also have to go outside. Don't forget that, you folks, if you're doing outside receptacles, because anything can be plugged in outside and be wet when it's wet.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Yep.
Very good point. You know, we were talking about flower arranging.
I actually want to see this segment because I know.
Well, I'm glad you want to see it because we're going to show it to you.
We're going to watch it, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Some plants don't go, I guess. I didn't know that.
They don't go together. It's a fact. Making a flower arrangement is not as easy as grabbing some flowers and sticking them in a vase. If you tried it, you know that. There's definitely a theory behind what flowers and what colors go best together. And designer Debbie Saltzman is going to fill us in.
Debbie, one of your favorite things about flower arranging is that you can break the rules, but first you have to know them, right?
Mm-hmm. And I just think there's a few basic rules, and one is color. And in the summertime, I think there is so much choice for people. There's so many beautiful flowers out there that it's actually harder to pick out what you want. So one of the things that obviously people buy flowers for is color. So I thought we'd look at 4 different color combinations today. And the first is, as you can see, we have our primary colors here. And these are all monochromatic arrangements.
Which is so hot, right? That's this big hot thing right now.
It's really hot. It makes a great impression. You just see color. And monochromatic, of course, is basically all of one color or within the range. So we have our yellows, we have our blues, and our reds. So we have, these are all the primary colors, and what we're going to do is introduce a complementary color, which is the secondary color.
Just to be clear for the audience, I think we should tell them what a secondary color is, and that would be when you combine these 2 colors, you end up with a purple or something similar to this. That's a secondary color. If you combine these 2, you get a green, and if you combine these 2, you get an orange. And the complementary color is the one that's flip-flop on the scale from that.
Right. It's actually, if there's a color wheel, it'd be exactly across it. But what the complementary colors do is when you stick the flowers in the arrangement, it enhances the color of both of them. So I think it's just sort of an interesting lesson to see. So with the orange, we're going to take the orange roses and we're going to actually just stick them in the, we'll call it our blue arrangement here. And you might want to take a few too and just stick a few in. Okay. The other thing is you don't need that many flowers, and you've already seen the impact of the color.
So it really just emphasizes what's already there in a really powerful way.
And it emphasizes the color. And so you could play, you can imagine you were doing this in a room room, the whole difference you have in a room.
Boy, this is a real argument against that hot trend about the minimalist colors, because look at how that's just come alive.
I just think
that's terrific.
So now...
Okay, what's the next magic?
Okay, we'll do green and red. And you think of course, the wonderful green foliage and how that just brings out the red flowers. So we're going to take our little blue perum here and stick some of this in. And again, you're going to see the same effect. You're just going to start seeing the accent of...
And this is such a great color because it's such an unexpected green, I think.
Yeah, I love this. I think this is great. I love this with hot pink. Is wonderful.
Look at how much richer that red is now, too. So
and the
beautiful.
Green, and it just accents a whole different, it has a whole different feeling to it.
Wonderful. That is great. Okay, so you've done 2 magics. What's our last magic here? We have a yellow.
The last one is violet. So we're going to stick these in and see how they work. And I couldn't resist because there is a little yellow in here too.
So this is a beautiful solid aster.
Right. Let me stick those in. But again, you see how the color starts playing. It creates a whole different feeling.
Absolutely. There's a lot more energy to this thing, and the combination of them gives it just a lot of enthusiasm and snap. Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like double the amount of flowers in there just because of what you've done.
And we've also put very little in.
Exactly.
So really there's 4 combinations. One is monochromatic, one is blue and orange, green and red, and violet and yellow.
Oh, Debbie, this is so beautiful, and they're wonderful things, but these containers are also really terrific, and that's something that we can get from you, right?
Absolutely.
Another great lesson from Debbie. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ken.
I love this combination.
I can't believe that even our style expert, Ken Hoyt, had some questions for Debbie Saltzman.
I'm going to test you now.
Okay.
What is a complementary color? See if
it's the one that is exactly the opposite on the color wheel. And you know how I'm going to do this at home? I'm going to get out my old art book, and I'm going to get out that color wheel and double check. See? It's exactly the opposite. But at the very end, she told us monochromatic. You know what that is? Blue and orange.
I took notes.
Blue and orange, okay? Green and red, and violet and yellow. You can remember that.
You knew I was
I'll tell you
gonna
what,
test
I'll
her.
photocopy this for you.
Oh, thank you very
All right.
much. I appreciate that.
Still to come on Good Day Lifestyles, builders are continuing to research and develop products that are friendly to the environment, thank goodness, and that are good for building homes. Today, we're going to show you a new product that can keep you warm, and it's made out of soy. It's 9:28. We will be right back.
David Schmidtke's Handyman segment is sponsored by George Moreland Plumbing.